Hello and welcome to this fountain pen video review. Today I'll talk about the Wingsung 3001. Wingsung is the name of the Chinese manufacturer, while 3001 is the model name. For a wealth of information about Wingsung, I move forward to the video titled The Modern Wingsung Pens by Zele 2015 AU. Anyway, this review is divided into two parts. First, an objective overview of the parts of the pen, and then a summary of my experience with this pen. I've had this pen for 4 months now. Let's start with some dimensions. Here are the length, capped, uncapped and posted, and here is the weight of the pen, capped and uncapped. The pen arrived to me with its converter already inside, and it was protected by a simple plastic sleeve. No cartridges or any form of documentation was included. Going over the parts of the pen, I'll start from the cap. It measures 6.3 centimeters. It's made entirely of ABS plastic. Here I have a disassembled cap. It certainly doesn't feel metal. The cap is cylindrical and perfectly smooth to the touch. In all the 3001 versions I've seen, the color of the cap matches the rest of the pen. I know of 10 finishes: solid color black, white, red, green and blue-green, sort of teal, semi-transparent black, red, green and blue, and completely transparent. The accents, the furniture, seem to be always gold colored. Back to the cap, it's a screw cap that takes almost 2 turns to unscrew. The cap has an inner cap. Can you see it? But it's an indent of plastic mold rather than a separate piece. There's no cap band, but there are two printed gold color lines where the cap band should be. The bottom line, the thick one, is interrupted by the name of the brand in Chinese characters. Wingsung means eternal life, by the way, and the model name. The cap tapers down towards the finial, which is a plastic button screwed onto the body of the cap. It holds the clip in place, which is gold color like the rest of the furniture, has round edges, fairly springy, and it has the imprint wing.s at the bottom. The clip measures 4.3 centimeters. Onto the pen itself, I'll start from the nib feed assembly. The nib is an exposed type, stainless steel, gold colored. It has a briefer hole, and as far as markings go, we have a scroll work on the tines, the Wingsung logo, which is a pen inside a circle, I'm not sure if you can see it, but underneath the logo we have the brand name in its entirety, and underneath the width of the nib, EF for extra fine. To my knowledge, the nib of the Wingsung 3001 is always gold colored and always extra fine. If you have received anything else, please report in the comments below. I haven't mentioned it, but it's obvious that the pen mimics the Pilot 78G down to an even feed, and the so-called wing design. So the nib shoulders hug the feed very tightly. The feed itself is plastic, without fins in the outer part, but contrarily to any Pilot feed, it's transparent. To my knowledge, the feed of a Wingsung 3001 is always transparent. The nib and feed are simple friction fit, but I haven't been able to pull them out no matter what I tried. And upon close inspection, I see that the feed seems to be partly fused together with the inner wall of the section. I write this up to the high temperatures of the manufacturing process, and I consider this a manufacturing defect because there are users who claim that they can pull out the nib and feed relatively easily. So this is an anomaly, and it seems fused together, if you're wondering, in both of my 3001. Here is more difficult to see though because of the color of the ink, but it seems fused together. Onto the grip section, it measures 2.7 centimeters. It's made of plastic, it's circular, smooth to the touch, and it lacks an inner section. It tapers down considerably towards the nib, where there is a handy flare if you hold the pen very close to the nib. Between the section and the barrel there is a gold-colored ring that remains attached to the section. Be careful not to yank it off, or you can lose it quite easily. I don't know exactly what it's made of, but by the way it's discolored, I can guess either aluminum or brass. The barrel is an 8.2 centimeters long cylinder of plastic. It's smooth, no facets or texture, and it tapers down towards the end, which is simply a recess in the plastic mold. Since the metal ring shouldn't be any danger, the pen can become an eyedropper with a bit of silicone grease and maybe an O-ring on the threads. No, maybe not an O-ring, just silicone grease. There's no space for an O-ring. This pen is born as a cartridge converter. The converter is a screw type without any markings or branding. The opening seems to be similar to that of Lamy and Parker cartridges, but I haven't tried any Lamy cartridge. Finally, the pen posts quite deeply. And quite securely. Here starts the second part of my review. I share with you my opinions after a few months of use with the Wingsung 3001. Regrettably, this pen didn't make a first good impression. Believe it or not, the first time I unscrewed the cap in this manner, the whole thing came apart. The finial was loose. The finial was loose, and the clip and the finial flew off at the first touch. Another thing about unscrewing parts is that almost every time, I think 8 out of 10, when I unscrew the pen, I find that the section and the barrel are unscrewed too. It's almost like a ritual by now for me, a routine. If I'm not screwing the barrel back before I write, it means I haven't picked up the 3001. Before talking about writing, let me tell you a few positive aspects. Remember the weight, because this pen is so light, you can use it however long you want. Another upside is that it posts well, and the cap doesn't change the balance at all. It's fairly long, but very light and usable. It's a narrow pen though. Mind the fact that I have very small hands, so you might find this section attached too narrow. Very narrow pen. By the way, circular section and smooth threads means that you can keep your hold however low or high you wish. If you hold the pen high up on the section though, you might want to pay attention to the orientation of a clip when you post the cap, because it's a fairly long clip. So like on reverse it will touch the curve of your hand. Another positive aspect is that the pen can easily become an eyedropper. The 3003 model that has the same converter than the 3001. Here I'm talking about this pen. Mine was dead on arrival. The converter, it was completely stuck. See? It doesn't unscrew and it doesn't screw. And it rides like this. If you have a functioning converter, make sure to check yours at least weekly, because I have, as you can see, two 3001 models. And one, the converter would come right off the section, this one, while the other one comes off roughly once a week. Finally, onto the writing. The nib is smooth, surprisingly smooth for an extra fine. The width is right up there with Lamy Z50 extra fine nibs. The ink flow is good even with Pelikan 4001 inks, which are very dry. The reverse writing is very good. It's obviously scratchy since it's basically a needle point, but the line remains consistent and it keeps up well. In terms of flex, the nib has a certain softness to it, and you can go from extra fine to medium without pressure, and the feed keeps up. Finally, the inner cap effectively prevents the nib from drying out overnight. I've tried leaving the pen unused for a couple of weeks, and it only took a bit of shaking to get the pen up and running. This said, my 3001s have hard starts issues that I've yet to figure out how to fix. I'm sure you've noticed this from the writing demonstration. I need to retrace my line several times. Here it's time to conclude my review about this pen. This Wingsung 3001 is a very inexpensive pen. I got mine for €1.60 each, including shipping from Hong Kong. The fact that the pen can be sold for so little is explained by the build quality. Although I haven't seen any cracks yet, the plastic is very thin and the parts come loose often. If you have any comments or feedbacks, or if you want to simply share your experience with this pen or with other Wingsung pens, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I enjoy reading them very much. This is it for the Wingsung 3001. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Ciao ciao.